Hello everybody, my name is Devin and thank you for tuning to my channel, Devin's Mastermind. So first of all, what I want to discuss today, I want to talk about, Tyrese Haliburton and, the legend that he was. Now I know a lot of folks are going to say like, well, Devin, how's Tyrese Haliburton a legend? Well, first of all, I'm going to give you the details, myself. Okay, so he basically, took the Pacers, to the NBA championship. And I realized, if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have, won the championship, or he was about to score 40 points. But my thing is, unfortunately, the next year when the Pacers, decided to tank, be honest with you, he was out the whole season, and the Pacers didn't do, good without him at all. They went one of the worst teams in basketball. So I feel like, in a sense, that shows that, Tyrese Haliburton was really meaningful to his team or whatever. Because the thing is, and I don't think, nobody else could do this, but if I had to choose between somebody taking the last shot or whatever, in an NBA playoff game, it would be between Steph Curry and Tyrese Haliburton. But like I said, folks don't realize, what Tyrese Haliburton did in the playoffs, having 3 to 4 tying game-winning field goals or game-winning shots. That was crazy. And then when he did the Reggie choke sign or whatever, that was, some legendary stuff. And I even have a jersey of Tyrese Haliburton, so I'll, one day show that to y'all. But like I said, Tyrese Haliburton, to do all what he did, that's really good. And then folks got to realize, even with the Kings, he's one of those point guards or whatever, even though he's not going to have a game, every time where he's scoring 30, just the facilitator that he is. He's such a good facilitator. He can, space the floor. He can make plays, do kind of crazy stuff, pass like magic or whatever. So like I said, Tyrese Haliburton should definitely give his flowers. Yeah, he's a little bit, goofy or whatever, but we all are. Hey, I'd rather be goofy, than be, normal like everybody else. I'm autistic, so I have, little weird traits or whatever, but otherwise than that, I'm still a great man, and I love you always, no matter who you are. Even if I met you for the first time, I'm always, everybody knows that has met me. Everybody knows that I'm always try to do my best to be there for them, no matter if it's my first time meeting them or my last time. I'm always, try to help somebody out. I'm going to give somebody the shirt off of my back and the shoes off my feet. But like I said, Tyrese Haliburton, he's definitely a great player in the NBA, and I was glad, to see him take a struggling Indiana team finally to the finals. So another thing I wanted to talk about, so my boy Colin, he's 19 or whatever. He bought one of my shirts, and then Isaac bought one of my shirts. He's from, he went to X3 or whatever. So I got 2 people to buy my shirts. So I just wanted to tell those 2 people, thank you for buying my shirts. And I also want to give a shout out to my subscribers, whoever's 317, 18 subscribers, because one time I had like 150 for the longest. So I just want to say, thank you for everybody for pouring into this channel. And another thing I want to get into, so as y'all know, Con Knipple will be in his 2nd year. So I expect, him, Cooper Flagg, and VJ Edgecombe all to take a leap, next year or whatever. They were such good rookies, but I expect them, to be even better because, it's their 2nd year. So I expect, to take their teams to the playoffs. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say for that. Another thing I want to get into, so as y'all know, they said the Bengals, or one of them, has the easiest schedule. So the Bengals can win the Super Bowl. The thing is, can their defense play better, and can Joe Burrow stay healthy? Because when Joe Burrow, is healthy, Joe Burrow is easily a top 2, if not top 1 quarterback. So I think with the Bengals, they got to stay healthy. Another thing with the Detroit Lions, I wanted to say about the Detroit Lions, y'all blew it in the 49ers NFC Championship game. Y'all knew that the 49ers were going to come back. And all I'm trying to say is, and y'all blew it, like Adam Sandler said, y'all shouldn't have did that. Y'all should have kept on playing. I understand, second half is a little different, but for teams, but whatever, but it still doesn't make an excuse, because all you had to do was score 2 to 3 touchdowns or whatever to really put the game away, and y'all would have had that Super Bowl. But like I said, y'all probably may not even make it to the Super Bowl, because the last 2 years, y'all been in injuries all the time. Y'all get injured so much, and everybody gets tired of it, because we're like, how does, 12 to 15 players get injured? But like I said, Lions, that was y'all's best chance to get a Super Bowl. Let me tell y'all something about the Houston Texans. I believe the Houston Texans can be a Super Bowl champion, but the thing is with them, they got to do better. Like CJ Stroud, he has to play better. And offensively, on the offensive line, the Texans have got to figure out that stuff on offense, which I think they did this year, probably, in the offseason, but they still got to figure stuff out, because it's too much, just, going to the playoffs, winning the wild card, and then losing in the divisional round 35-9. I mean, that can't happen. Y'all supposed to be Super Bowl team. And Bills, Josh Allen, let me see some Josh Allen. You got to do it, man. You got to win the Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes may be here, he may not, but you got to be in it. Like, you got to be in it. Like, it's no excuse no more. Everybody gives you a little bit more excuses. It's no excuse. You got to get to the Super Bowl. It's either Super Bowl or bust or whatever. And one more thing before I go, I wanted to say, I love Drew Brees. Drew Brees is my favorite player. I, still think he's, the best quarterback of all time. Some folks may debate me because the thing is, if Drew Brees would have had like a great defensive line and even, a few more pass catches or just a good team, I felt like, the Saints would have been even better. But like I said, and Drew Brees had 5,000 yard seasons. He also had 50 touchdown passes, like so many seasons. He also had a game where he's passed for 7 touchdowns and they won 52-49 against Eli Manning and the New York Giants. So, yeah, so Drew Brees is a pretty great, quarterback, and props to him. Either way, that's it for today. That's all I got to say. Thank you. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you, and good luck to football season, and good luck to the juniors and seniors, at my school. They going to school, and a few of them that done bought my shirt. So good luck to y'all. Hope y'all have a fun time, and I miss y'all so much. And I want to say thank you, God, for everything. Thank you for taking me this far. And teaching me, the ways, to be a great man or whatever. But like I said, that's all I got to say. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, and goodbye.